Alright, hey everybody. Sorry that took a little bit longer than we thought it would, but JonSnow and TLO are all vetoed up and good to go. So let me just join in on the lobby. I'm the last one in.
No, not quite.
Oh.
JonSnow.
I managed to beat JonSnow. Get wrecked.
There you go. Yeah, so JonSnow is in Korea. Both here. And obviously TLO in Europe, so obviously a North American player, but in Korea it's not the best possible conditions. Playing on NA Central, but hopefully a good ZvZ. And they're both ready.
Alright. So it is a brand new best of 5. Like we said, guys, we have 4 best of 5s in total. For those who are unaware, this is not just like a one day of show matches. It is a round of 8.
Right, so Snoot's in the money. Anyone who makes it out today gets at least a little bit of cash.
Nice.
Tomorrow's where the big bucks are.
Well, I got a beautiful look at ZvZ yesterday through Solar and Scarlet. I'm hoping these guys can live up to those expectations. In the lower right, we've got, of course, Team Liquid's red all-star player, TLO.
In the top left, as the blue Zerg, it's JonSnow.
And I guess there are no official brackets for this, but we do have the Team Liquid page, which I'll just attach to the brackets, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So.
Oh, sorry, I'm muting about half of these sneezes and sniffles, guys. I apologize. My body is just actually breaking down on the inside.
Well, JonSnow. You know, first we had 3-0. A little bit sad about that. Peely had a really good first game. But first we had 3-0. Now we have JonSnow starting things off with an early pool. Not a gas, just a pool, but still. Kind of funny because I just mentioned that these aren't the most ideal, like, ping, you know, stability.
Well, that might be a big part of it, though, right? Like,
well, that's why it's funny, though, right? It's like, who has the better, like, who lives in the ping, which I guess JonSnow, literally, I was like, are you okay with the server? And he was like, I'm born in the ping. So I guess he's okay with it.
Gives you the whole, like, Bane speech, like, I grew up in the lag. I can't do the voice right now. I'm too tired.
Yeah, you I know you can usually though. These allergies are kicking in.
It's not just allergies. I feel physically weak and exhausted. If you don't sleep after getting that much exercise, it hurts.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm trying so
I think
hard.
There's a lot of things compounding on you right now.
I'm coming in with like low energy, and this is me trying my hardest, guys.
So TLO, I don't believe he went for, actually I'm not sure what he went for, but the point is, like, he pulled the drones just to transfer them, it seems, and, well, now they could just die. They're trying to buy time, because Lings are on the way, but just, like, a little bit too far off. If JonSnow could get, like, 5 drones, that'd be good. Obviously 8, I think, would be, like, best, and, well, a hatchery would be, like, just insane. So far, not enough. 3? I mean, is that really worth such an early pool? You know, it's a gasless one, so his hatchery wasn't technically like too far behind, quote unquote. Like it was entire hatchery behind actually, but because they both really weren't droning on it, it might just come out similar. And they do come out with similar drones too. So I don't know. That was a lot of lost mining time, obviously, for TLO. There was a bit of a spike in the income advantage for JonSnow.
Well, as he's got the queen now on the ramp, this will be a very easy hold. 2 of them even. Queens add so much damage when reaching over the Lings. Not so good on their own, typically, but of course paired up with anything, they're pretty nice. This queen out of TLO, though, is so overextended, but he knows that there's nothing that can really be done about it.
That's brutal. JonSnow was already supply blocked for a good 10 seconds. He was waiting on Overload to get on supply blocks.
This adds to it.
Yeah, as you can see, once again, stuck in the same position. Speed coming along, they're on the same time. Evolution Chamber maybe would have... Maybe predates a Roach Warren at a later time. We do sometimes see that +1 started long before Roach Warren, but still feels pretty early for that, so I'm waiting to see. TLO going for, I guess, the more obvious building. Banelings for his lings. Maybe a bit of pressure on what could be JonSnow's third.
Well, I guess another Overlord would be pretty devastating. So this one might barely escape.
Oh, it's gonna live. I want to live.
Oh no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. The Queen's faster. Not by much, but she is.
That's a good point. I thought his regen was gonna start kicking in.
Might as well be a supply block though. He starts like 3 more Overlords. This is TLO the sniper brings his Queen to the front line, right? Like this is a different one than earlier, obviously, but still. This not just denies vision, but those 2 supply hits, the fact that JonSnow's had to invest an extra like 200 to 300 minerals more than he would have wanted to in a mirror matchup. Like it's a good thing he's ahead in drones, because otherwise I don't know if he could afford this.
It's like almost his income advantage going into Overlords. Because he did have a bit of one with all the drone pools. And now obviously has more drones. But equal army counts here. No Banelings involved in this fight, although JonSnow does see it, but it just still... You know, JonSnow's still waiting on a lot of his reinforcements.
Oh, he gets the Queen on the ramp. Nice pick. Yep.
The Banelings. This is going to be a bit of trouble to deal with. There's 5 of them on the way.
If +1 was anything close to being viably finished, I would say, you know what? Maybe JonSnow can make something happen. But he's losing Queens on the ramp. He's losing his ability to hold. New Banelings finishing up here in just a second. Gets a good hit on half the lings.
Yeah, I really feel like he would have been close to holding if he had a couple more Queens. The snipes went down, or of course he had +1 Carapace.
He didn't lose 3 Overlords.
Yeah, or he didn't lose 3 Overlords. Like, there's a lot of things that could have happened, right? It was actually a barely hold. Those armor supplies were quite similar. Banelings changed things a little bit, but also just the surrounds.
Even then, this is dicey because you never know what's on the other side of that brush. One Baneling walking through and you lose all the slings, it's game over.
Yeah. Still might not want to take that fight. It's like so close to being the +1 Carapace too that then he probably would want to take a fight like that.
For those who don't know too, I guess just the odd casual fan out there, this will let those Zerglings survive the hit with 1 health. It is one of those critical upgrades in StarCraft 2.
Oh, it's only 1 Baneling. You almost got it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Protect the payload. Push the payload!
Even though it does let you survive, clearly if you get hit by a Baneling, you're going to take a worse Ling fight. Those lings will be so dead. And, I mean, the counts are still so similar. 29 to 31 Lings here.
That's kind of cool though. I don't know if TLO realized there was an armor upgrade, but the second he saw the Baneling go off and not kill Lings, he pulled back.
Yeah.
So
he's actually looking to maybe buy a little bit of time. And he's down to that upgrade. He's trying to get to his own upgrades, double upgrades, in fact. And I really wish this was the staple in ZvZ, not necessarily like Lings and Orochus, but like double upgraded Lings into whatever else happens. His Lings, in my opinion, are the best card.
Yeah, I have a lot more fun watching these than Roaches most of the time, but again, the exception to Scarlet and Scarlet yesterday. Banelings do come waddling in. He's got to trade out a couple Banelings for a couple Banelings, but he misses the Baneling hits. Now those drones are in trouble. Pulls a little bit late, splits though in the last second, keeps the drones alive for now.
Oh, man. That was awfully close. JonSnow has a lot more coming in, and those Lings just barely got out of there. TLO's +1 Carapace is so close to being finished as well, but is it too late? Okay. Good.
That Baneling tried started to get that hit from earlier.
Ah!
He does pull the drones though. He's still only lost about 4.
Yeah, I could have sworn that the Banelings would either go on those or the Lings would have killed more.
I think the problem is though, TLO may at some point here, upgrades are not even up with Carapace and what have you. He's still down like 9 workers.
Yeah, he is. That's a very good point. JonSnow definitely looking to take this game. He's already on his way to Roaches. So his Lings have like really great upgrades. His Roaches surprisingly a little bit sturdier.
I'm impressed that not just the fact that he got the timing in the first place, but that he was able to bring this back. The early game looked so shaky for JonSnow.
It did. Yeah, the early pool just didn't like numbers. You look at the numbers and you're like, well, that didn't do very much. But I think that. Okay. I think that's actually adding up the amount of Lings that had to be made and the amount of drone pools that had to be done. It wasn't so bad. Those Banelings did survive. That's why I was okaying at. It just looked so weird. But they aren't really even needed.
GG. JonSnow gonna take the first game. A little bit anticlimactic at the end for how much action was actually going on. Please don't let my depraved state take away from the hype that was that game. But good stuff out of JonSnow. Real good stuff out of JonSnow.
Yeah. Well, the pacing of the game was going very well. Yeah, cast JonSnow in something else recently, like a week ago or something like that. I forget what it was though. It's a right to contact him or something.
Road to DreamHack, maybe? I don't know.
You know what? That might have been it. Anyways, I was gonna say, like, those games that we saw from him, wherever they were, I just remember thinking, okay, he looks like he could be solid, but he's missing one or two good decisions. Like, that's literally what I thought. Where in that game, I thought he looked solid, plus he had some good decisions. Like, he actually took some smart fights.
Speaking of the Road to DreamHack, by the way, we should have some really good announcements over the next week regarding that tournament. And on the off chance any players are listening, it is still going to primarily be a BYOC event, but maybe it won't be entirely BYOC. I can't say anything else for now, but if you can read between the lines, you should pretty easily tell what I mean.
Mystery.
But I'm not announcing anything officially.
It's a not announcement of an announcement.
Exactly, right? By the way, as a other side note too, I'm really glad Masa qualified. I know that with the Koreans there it was a little bit daunting, but I'm really glad Masa qualified through, because I'm excited to see him once again.
Yeah. He's definitely one of those staple North Americans. I think you can almost always depend on if he wants to play a North American event, he's gonna get there.
Is staple the word of the day?
Have I used that more than once?
Yeah, several times actually.
About what? About builds?
Oh, you just keep referring to everybody as like the staple blank, staple build, staple, like, let's go to the Staples and get some office supplies. I don't know, man. Like, oh, what's on your cup before I go to in-game screen?
Chat confirm. You've noticed it before. It's Mama Moo.
Oh, right. K-pop stuff.
Yep.
Speaking of good mamas, maybe they don't moo. I saw yours tweeting your cats. Favorited all the pictures because I was jealous.
Okay, I'll accept that segue.
No, the video she tweeted specifically of like baby chewing up the rug or whatever, and then Apollo comes over and is like, "What are you doing?"
Wait, she tweeted a video?
Yeah, did you see it?
No.
Oh, well, now you've got an extra surprise to look forward to.
Oh.
By the way, thank you, Bobble Convolute, hitting us up with a 41-month resub a little while ago. Mazix and Glaburp as well. Thank you, guys. Sorry, brain's a little bit slow this morning, but game number 2 in this best of 5 kicking off in the lower right. He's down a game at the moment. It's TLO.
In the top left, as the blue Zerg for Systrom Gaming, it's JonSnow. He will know an adequate amount again in like a couple of days, right? Like, doesn't Game of Thrones start again soon? I don't know, like,
but would the meme... I'm just trying to think, like, would he know more because the show continues, or would he still be in the not know?
That's why I said an adequate amount of knowledge, because we're like when did she die? We're like 2 seasons past that, right?
Actually, have you seen the show? I know I've mentioned it before, but Powerless?
You have mentioned it, yes. I have not seen it.
They recently came back on in one of the episodes. This girl, like, basically goes into a portal, time travels to the future. She becomes, like, the King Barbarian, whatever, comes back. And, like, why'd you come back? She's like, yo, I gotta see how Game of Thrones ends. Like,
oh. Pretty big, man.
It's probably, I would argue, one of the biggest shows on TV that's commonly watched. Not in terms of like overall viewership, as far as like, oh, because, you know, Seinfeld has the biggest view all time, Friends and like old shows, but I just mean, like, I don't know that I've seen a show talked about as much in the last few years as Game of Thrones has been.
Yeah. It's also really set in motion a big trend of shows, but I'd like to get into that more. We did have an aggressive opener from JonSnow. He opened up with, you know, pool gas or gas pool. Point is, he delayed that hatchery. And I guess sometimes that can be like if they're also doing something aggressive, it can turn into a bit of like who defends, who attacks. But TLO went for that hatch. In fact, he's going for a third hatch. And JonSnow not only got the opener down, but he also got a Baneling Nest and a lot of lings. He's already pre-set up 2 Banelings to the right side of the map. I think it's a little unfortunate that they're going to be scouted maybe by that third base, but I like the idea.
Well, moving on top of the queen like this, she laterally survives. Thank you for the bits. Also, new bit boss. Woo!
I'll also accept that pun. Right word?
It's a play on words. You know, pun's such an easy.
Yeah, well, that's why I said, is it the right word? Because I couldn't think of which one was right.
By the way, the hatchery was canceled straight up. Really smart move out of TLO, recognizing the situation after getting across the map.
Right, yeah. He figured out pretty quickly what was going down, and his Baneling Nest was not really that delayed. There is a world where TLO wasn't even planning on going for a Baneling Nest, and he is still going to be contained while JonSnow drones. But at least this time, he has his own Banelings to defend first, but then also to threaten a counterattack second, because JonSnow so far is getting that drone lead. And if he's able to defend against TLO's attack here, not this attack, but that's still the queen. There's a queen carcass in the natural. But the next one, then he'll be pretty good.
There's that queen that was really low from earlier, so it's not as impressive, I guess. Yeah, I loosened up the jar lid for you, okay?
But no, this attack was a little bit scarier. TLO had a ton of lings that were almost hiding there. But JonSnow barely makes it back in time with the Banelings. They do manage to kill 7 workers, but JonSnow had droned up so much more.
Yeah, even with 7 dead, he's still ahead. By a lot. 2 Banelings looking to change that, though. A couple more kills, but not enough. Still on 26 over 22.
That is a better number, though, than what was before.
Absolutely.
TLO, though, maybe not even looking like really like planning on going for.
Well, again, him killing the queen might just seal the deal. Well, those are his Banelings finishing up. Never mind. Sorry, thought those were TLO's for a second. Yeah,
well, that definitely would have sealed the deal. But TLO said he's gonna roach warren. I'm not sure what his plan was. He didn't have a lot of gas, so I guess there were gonna be a lot of roaches. And that's probably not a very good push. But he's a quad block, so only just now getting a couple of drones. But the relentless aggression, JonSnow taps out anyway.
Nice, and he ties it up 1-1 in the process. Very well done. By the way, I love that we're starting to get people who are more and more used to like becoming the bit boss, moving laterally. I didn't even have to give shout outs. He immediately used every boss power possible. Like just like went down the list. Bim bam boom. Tax, gift, glory. Boom.
Good deal.
Alright guys, we're gonna go to a small commercial break because it's been 2 games. Do sit tight. We'll be back soon with game 3. Alright folks, you're not missing much. We're just loading into the game as we speak. If you're just joining us on the broadcast tonight or this morning, it is tied up 1-1 between these guys in a best of 5. This is a round of 8 match. All the money matches are going to be happening tomorrow. These are just the decider matches today. Also, be hyped because we're going to have Rapid Casting and Zeph coming to join us on the cast. It's not going to be a quadrupedal cast, but we will be having some shifts and some fun times. But getting into game number 3, in the top left, we've got the Red Zerg from Psystorm Gaming, JonSnow.
And in the bottom right, as the Blue Zerg, it's TLO.
I guess we haven't really talked about what we're going to be doing for that, but yeah, I guess we'll just rotate out 2 at a time or something. I'll always be stuck observing, though. Feels bad, man.
Yeah. I mean, unless you wanted to sleep in, and then I could start observing.
Yeah, but people want game sounds. I might take you up on that. That'd be the birthday gift right there, right? Just sleeping in a little bit. Woo!
Yeah, right?
Everyone's like, what can I get you for your birthday? And they all want material things. And I'm like, look, give me a high-class escort. Let me sleep in. Buy me some food. Groceries for the week, and I'm good to go. Like, that's my birthday wildness in a nutshell.
It's like, oh, shoot. It's like, so like there's like a shower thought around Father's Day, right? And it was like, you know, for Father's Day it seems like it's more about the father finally being able to play with their kids and stuff like that. But for Mother's Day it always seems like it's the mom going, I don't want to be a mom. I forgot how they put it, right? Because they put it in a better way. It's like a dad wants to be a dad, the mom wants to stop being a mom on Mother's Day, right? Like that's the difference.
Wow,
I feel like it's you. It's not that bad. I mean, but the point is like the stereotype I think is that the dad like does something fun with their kids, and the mom is like, you know, let me sleep in and make me breakfast, and that'll be my present. And that's the stereotype, and it's like that's what you just did.
Gotta clean the house. Company's coming over, and then I'm doing nothing.
Whenever I see that, like, I don't know, it's like was it a Vine? It might have been a Vine.
No, it's I know what you're talking about here. It's a YouTube series. It's a guy who plays a girl character named Gail. And it's
I know the whole series.
The other ones are pretty dumb. That's really the only good one, to be honest with you, but it's pretty funny. I liked it.
Okay.
We can't let people think people live here.
Just like clean the couches, never mind, throw them away.
I think what's crazy with that video is it is one of the most like highly receptive. Like everyone's had a mom who does it. Doesn't matter what culture you come from. Doesn't matter what race or backing you have. Everybody's mom does that.
Yeah, it's so weird. Okay. And then whenever I get to a house that looks like it hasn't been lived in, you don't want to really live in it.
It feels
right?
uncomfortable.
So they're trying to be.
You're like,
they're
you
trying to
clean
be all
this
nice
too much.
and make you feel welcome. You just it's the opposite of feeling welcome. You're gonna ruin everything. But we have a pretty typical ZvZ openers. You know, we have the early aggression, the earlier aggression, right? And now we're finally to the point where it's like 3 base versus 3 base. Lane Baneling versus Lane Baneling. Actually, I think JonSnow skipped his Baneling nest, but the point is,
well,
can anyone get a cancel here?
I find this really interesting the way the playstyles of the players have gone. You know, we talked about the server influencing whether it be lings or not because there's maybe lag. But it's just, Maynard and I got to cast like Solar Scarlet yesterday, and every game was just like roaches, 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 kind of passiveness, roaches. And it led to some very cool games, but these ones are not bad either. It's just a very different, like, it might as well not even be the same matchup, feels like.
I feel like lings. I'm glad I get this one.
That Baneling's looking for a real good hit.
Yeah, well, these lings of JonSnow are looking for the kill. I mean, that got awfully low.
TLO gets to the other side of the map, too. Kills that queen. I think TLO's also got transfuses soon. He should be able to keep this hatchery alive. Can't see a situation where JonSnow kills this.
Yeah, nah, the thing is, he probably identified that it was too close. Like, even if he did kill it, it would have been sacking way too many lings. So, he pulled away, came back. It didn't work out. But he's reinforced enough to hold, apparently, although I'd be very scared. I mean, TLO is winning the ling counts, but also has banelings, whereas JonSnow went for a roach warren, but he's not really going to be able to get that many roaches. His counterattack has failed. TLO's going to send the rest of his reinforcements forward here, and I'm not sure that JonSnow can hold. It might just be GG.
Yeah, the banelings were actually zoning out the back legs, and they took that hit, so nothing here to stop the main. No queens. The roaches, by the time they spawn, there might be too many deaths. There we go. TLO securing a 2-1 lead now. That's pretty nice. For those who don't know what's coming up next, though, because I know somebody had asked about this earlier, we did update the bracket command with the Team Liquid page. So it's going to be Lambo versus M Canning and Euthermal versus Game Time. I'm actually really excited for both of those matchups. Mostly Euthermal versus Game Time because we saw what happened at Austin. But secondly, M Canning is a guy who, like, I just think a lot of people don't know his strengths, and that can sometimes get him these victories that nobody sees coming. So I think that's going to be some pretty cool best of fives after this one.
This is game 4, right?
This is game number 4. As I said, it is 2-1 in the favor of TLO.
Yes. I'm triple checking because I almost made Ascension to Ire again. Okay. But right, yeah, I think when I gave him the map order, the play order rather, the brackets, Euthermal said it was cruel. Especially maybe scared of Game Time.
Maybe. Euthermal was in how to say this, like, I almost want to say passive mode. I just haven't seen him in, like, I remember this time last year, Euthermal was hard playing everything everywhere. Now it's like maybe he's playing the odd event but for Wardy and never plays for our stuff ever. Like, I don't know what he's been up to. So he might not actually be in shape.
That's true. I feel like, though, it's deceiving because this past month, 2 months basically has been like, it feels a lot of European players especially saying I'm going to work really, really hard for the GMAX because they're coming one after another. So they might have gotten burnt out. They might actually just be practicing in secret. But I don't know.
Yeah, to be clear, guys, that's not at all me taking shots at you, Thermal, either. It's just like a statement. We just haven't seen him, period.
Right.
But anyways, we're getting into game number 4. Things are not looking so hot for this guy. He's on his last life. In the lower left, it's Psystorm Gaming's JonSnow.
In the top right, as the blue Zerg, he is Liquid TLO.
Oh, did I say right? Or did I say left?
I don't know.
You know what? If this was GSL, Tasteless would be going off like, and this is why you got a co-caster for backup. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what that's like.
That seems harsh.
No, just this one. I mean, you're great. You got my back 99% of the time. It's just like moment there where you're like, I don't know. Did you?
I don't know. We're both. I mean, you're worse for wear right now, but these past 4 or 5 days have just been like a freaking blur to me. I got last night off, which was really helpful, and I was doing like a bit of work. But because my sleep was still so thrown off, like I could not get a decent night's sleep.
Maynard and I were actually discussing this on the cast. I'm not sure if you were there for it. I'm like, frickin' zombie girl. We're trying to give her the day off, and she's still on the BattleNet playing StarCraft. Like, god damn it. Take a break. Take a chill pill. So he's like, she's probably just like recording a video or something. I'm like, yeah, this makes it worse. The opposite of the day off.
Yeah, that's actually what I was doing. I know Maynard like messaged me because I had you guys in the background. I occasionally listened, but like not a lot.
I told him too. I was trying to do something. I don't know what I was doing. My hands were full. I'm like, yo, message Zombie Girl. Ask her what the fuck she's doing. Yeah,
I slept for like 4 hours. It was a good nap, and when I got up, I just had to do something. So I did. I was recording video, and then I did end up playing later that night too. But it was the laziest play I've ever done. Like I'm usually very much a stickler to like perfecting a build order. But that, like, yesterday, I just was like, I'm going to try to 3 racks. Oh, today I learned I'm terrible at 3 racks. Oh, well. Oh, I was so terrible, actually. I hope no one sees that replay ever.
It's really interesting, because you've never been, like, the cheesy player. And I come from that world, so it's hard for me to be like, I don't know how people can't, because it feels like it's easier to do the macroing.
The microing?
Just, I mean, being a cheesy player in general, like doing builds like 3 Raxes and what have you.
Oh, it sounded like you said it's easier than. Oh wait, no, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, okay, I get you. No, I don't know. I feel like it's just it has to do a lot more just like actually getting the dumb things out of the way. Almost like when you're first playing a race, you just like do the dumbest things and lose the dumbest things. But anyways, that's what cheesing is for me. JonSnow, I mean, it's Defender's Landing. They both, I think, opened up with in mind that could be very aggressive, but JonSnow once again piling on after the bit of an earlier pool and gas. A lot of lings. And TLO, he has a wall. This wall, though. This wall.
It is truly the Great Wall. Queen's going to be on the backside, too. He's going to hold that plug for now. It's not guaranteed to hold, but he does hold.
There's a second wall behind that queen anyway, between the roach horn or whatever it is in the spine crawler. Like, yeah. I mean, that's crazy to me.
I almost wonder if JonSnow would be better off chewing away at the rocks because there wouldn't be a spine crawler there.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I have no idea, but that did not work, and that is just insane. I think what Defender's Landing is not just that it, it's scary for its openers. It's also just scary because even if you do scout something, obviously your overlords are over their base or whatever. It happens in 5 seconds. So how are you gonna respond? And he responded pretty fine.
Look at TLO's confidence for this though. He's gonna get a massive lead out of this. Not only is he going straight to lair for roach speed, he starts that +1 ranged weapon upgrade. So with no banlings, there's no fear. And if he gets to roaches before JonSnow gets to roaches, there's a small window of opportunity where lots of lings can still work, but I think JonSnow is going to just be simply getting to roaches later, and he won't have those lots of lings. Also, I see everyone in chat saying the BaseTradeTV bot is dead. I'll have to go get that up after this game. It's in the other room right now. It is too warm for me to keep that laptop in here. It is... Ugh.
Too warm for that laptop to live. Yeah.
That's not true. It's an inanimate object.
Living, powering down, whatever. Overheating, whatever.
Yeah, it probably did overheat if I'm gonna guess. Like, it is really warm in here. I've got my door wide open. And the breeze feels a little bit nice, but it's not cooling the room down.
You know, like I like warm, so this temperature isn't as much of a, you know, everyone I talk to just like complains about the weather so much in Korea, but I like the warm. But
Warm is fine when it's done correctly, like low humidity, breezes.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's super humid. Everyone hates it because that's the thing I was gonna get into. Is like, don't mind that it's warm. What I do mind is like not having at least one space to be a little bit cool, because it's not the temperature that bothers me. It's that like I always feel like oily, right? Like I have naturally oil skin, like and whatever, but like even more so. So you always kind of feel like a little bit
much?
like, yeah. What is that? That's not a good thing about it. Brag about. It's not a good thing. Anyway, it doesn't feel very good sometimes. Anyway, TLO coming in here with the roaches. Obviously, a big benefit that he already has them. JonSnow trying to get them now,
yeah, but
they might be coming out too late.
Well, there's the upgrade disparity. There's the speed problem here where TLO can just walk away. Look at that. Minor amounts of micro actually end up being huge here because the roaches can't keep up with them. This is something where JonSnow should have been able to chase and execute some of these low roaches, but he can barely even get in range of them.
TLO doesn't have speedlings to have that like immediate snowballing effect, but because it's such a short map and he does have roach speed, it's kind of like it's still working out for him here. Like just a couple of roaches every now and then.
Transfuse was nice, but the focus fire snowball is very real, and unless he can finally get 3 or 4 of these roaches down, TLO's just going to keep jumping on them like this. And even though the reinforcements are slow or whatever across the map, like this already did a ton of damage. Drones were pulled for so long. Queen's missing injects. Roach is just straight up dying and trading, and TLO still comes out ahead for this, all things considered.
Yeah, it was not a great sign when TLO was able to do that, as well as already have a drone lead. So now he has even bigger drone lead as he gets 3 more in here, and he will eventually have that +2. JonSnow, though, I mean, his armor supply is not bad, and now things are evened up upgrade-wise. But defense advantage, a spine crawler, he's not going to get the opportunity here. He's going to have to look to the future, like a longer game and what he can do in that.
I really wish I knew how to edit Nightbot commands. That riff and drop thing is so dumb.
I could probably do that actually. I could just delete it.
Sometimes people are trying to make it a thing. Like the vampire thing was funny. This one is actually just dumb.
I'm not a fan of it either, and I know like I probably one that started it, but I didn't mean to. Like it's a one-off thing, guys.
So it's not like murdering kids. You just like fall into it, right? Like
oh, there you go. That's one thing that's not really sticking on.
All right. Army supply still vastly favoring TLO, but I like his choice to fall back from this. Defender's advantage can sometimes be too big of an issue. And he wants to secure the victory, not maybe give it away. So taking a 4th base behind this, can continue to advance his upgrades as well. He's already +2 over JonSnow. He's going to have +1 as well. That's going to be 2 levels of upgrades with Burrow to heal the injured roaches. Like, this just gets worse for JonSnow, and I don't really know what he can do to make this up.
His only advantage is having speedlings. The option for speedlings, I should say. He doesn't have any right now. But even that is, you know, that would have to be one of those things where 4 or 5 attacks, run-bys, constantly throw TLO off, and it's unlikely. Maybe 1 or 2 if he even invested into a handful. But, you know, that's a dangerous thing to do. You know the army's roaming around. You know that you're at a deficit in multiple ways. To spend 20, you know, get 20 lings is a dangerous thing.
The reptile crate, the snake Easter eggs. It was really funny for the campaign, but it actually makes no sense. Like, to think of some crazy guy who's on Defender's Landing right now. It's just like hiding in a box. Like, in the middle of a war zone. He's like, this is where I want to be right now.
Okay, why does it make more sense in the campaign? Isn't most of that just...
Well, because it was one instance in the campaign. One single critter.
I guess it was on the battleship, wasn't it? Like, it was on a battlecruiser or whatever?
No, it was like, it was the start. The start of the Nova missions.
The Nova missions.
Yeah, she's like in the lab on the planet. It's like.
Oh well, I guess my point was like it wasn't just like out in the forest of Ire, right? Because I thought you were talking about the beginning of Legacy of the Void. And I was like, oh, did I actually like kill it when I was stomping around with my OP Protoss? No, okay. You know, I don't think we have to think about much sense here on these maps. You know, we are also notice, I guess, the badly rendered Mengska statue that's like not complete.
Oh. Well, my logic on this one is it's poured gold or something. Like it's gold is a soft metal. That's
true, but I feel like people who work sculptures can still be good no matter what material they use with.
Yeah, but
It
we
just feels
consider
like
most of
there's
the Terran
awful
race as
stuff.
inbred idiots. I mean,
They're not inbred. They had. Okay, well. I mean,
she,
some of them might be.
I was gonna say actually some of them are though. That's the thing. So,
Is that actually canon?
well, no, I mean literally like you're breeding within your race.
Oh, what? No, that's not. Okay, you know what? This is an even army, or initially an even army supply
It's
fight,
not-
but obviously
it's not even,
Hydras and
though.
upgrades.
Like Hydras or whatever, the Ravagers got really good Corsair Vials. JonSnow didn't land all of his. TLO's gonna dominate this army supply mostly because of the upgrades, but a lot because of like the additional units. Now this fight, you're kind of like, well, what are you talking about? Once again, you're being such a bad caster, you can't call jack squat. But look at this. Saves what he has with the burrow, which is awesome. He's got more units that can be coming across the map in a moment. And JonSnow, without a 4th base, he doesn't have the money to keep up with TLO.
I mean, let's disregard the Carapace upgrade for a second. Just look at a Roach Hydra army. Like, it's kind of been proven through multiple games that that is not a guaranteed better army.
No.
It never has truly been, to be honest, because surrounds and counters and all that, like tunneling claws, whatever. But I feel like, especially in Legacy of the Void, you know, you just find yourself with these very vulnerable units, Hydras and Ravagers, left over, and you're like, well, it's still a good army supply, but really it's not, because the sturdy Roaches of the desperate Roach player actually manages to win out sometimes.
I was also going to mention, we've seen this dynamic in Legacy of the Void many times as well, and Ravagers are better than Hydras in a lot of instances. Because while Hydras have that really nice sustained damage, there's some instances where they can't fight, but Corrosive Bile, if that lands, boom, that's like an instant 60, and that can hit multiple units.
Yeah.
This move out of TLO, by the way, will stall out larva production. That's going to really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, JonSnow, the most hurtful thing is certainly his economy. Hasn't been as good as TLO's for quite a while, but now even more so as he cannot fit in a 3rd base. You'd have to take a very, very convincing fight, and I don't believe that's going to happen.
No, the numbers are just not there. The Corrosive Biles are landing on a lot of the Roaches. That's it. That move command at the end, he was in the heart of TLO's army. Nothing he could do about it, but that's it. JonSnow, GG.
And that's that.
All right, now we move on to our 3rd best of 5 M canning versus Lambo, the M can man himself. Hopefully he's around, and if he's not, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say he's the only guy I would be concerned about maybe this being early for, because I don't know if, because it's East Coast, so it's like 4, 5, 6, 7:38. Like, I don't know.
7:30. Yeah. Oh, they're here. Yeah. Just about ready to go, but we still have to do the vetoes, so still need a break.
See you guys in a few.